As humans, we often take things for granted, and it's not until something is gone that we fully realize its importance. Whether it's a friend, a partner, a family member, or even just a familiar face in a daily routine, the void left behind by their absence creates a longing that seems impossible to fill. We miss the little things first, the smile, the laugh, the comforting presence, and then we start to miss even the mundane, the ordinary. This process is not instantaneous. It builds slowly over time as memories rise to the surface. What's interesting about this phenomenon is that we don't always miss people for the reasons we think. We may believe that we miss them because of the way they made us feel or the role they played in our lives, but often it's deeper than that. It's not just the good times or the emotional support they provided that makes us long for them. Instead, it's their very essence. The energy they brought into our space, the rhythm they set in our days, that makes us feel their absence so acutely. We miss their quirks, their flaws, and the unique way they move through life. This makes the absence feel even more profound. People start missing you the most when they realize you filled a space in their lives that can't easily be replaced. Think about it. We all play distinct roles in the lives of others, and those roles are shaped by our personalities, our shared history, and our interactions. When we're gone, whether physically or emotionally, there's a shift in the dynamic that others might not immediately notice. But as time passes, the absence of your presence begins to feel like a missing piece of the puzzle. People begin to notice that things don't quite flow the same way. Conversations don't have the same depth, and interactions feel a little emptier. It's in those moments that the realization hits. Something, or more accurately, someone is missing. Another aspect of missing someone is tied to the concept of routine. We are creatures of habit, and we build our lives around the people we interact with regularly. Even if we don't think about it consciously, the people around us become part of our daily rhythm. When that rhythm is disrupted, when someone we see or talk to every day is no longer around, it can feel like the ground beneath us has shifted. Suddenly, there's a gap in the routine, a silence where there used to be conversation. This can be especially true in relationships, where the everyday presence of another person becomes an anchor in our lives. When that anchor is gone, we feel adrift, and it's in that moment of uncertainty that we start to miss them the most. People also start missing you when they realize how much they depended on your presence, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. Relationships, in all their forms, create bonds that often go unnoticed until they are no longer there. Maybe you were the one they confided in when things got tough. Maybe you were the one who could make them laugh when no one else could. Maybe your presence was a source of calm in their chaotic world. When you're gone, they may try to find those things in others, but it's not the same. It doesn't feel as genuine, as comforting. That's when they truly start to miss you, when they realize that what you brought to their life is irreplaceable. This realization is often accompanied by a deep sense of regret. People don't always appreciate what they have until it's no longer available to them. Maybe they took your presence for granted, assuming you would always be there. Maybe they didn't fully invest in the relationship, thinking they had more time. But when you're no longer around, they start to reflect on the moments they missed, the things they didn't say, the opportunities they didn't take to show you how much you meant to them. And it's in that reflection that the feeling of missing you intensifies. They start to wonder, what if? What if they had done things differently? What if they had appreciated you more? What if they had made more of an effort? These questions can linger in their minds, growing heavier with each passing day. People start missing you the most when they are reminded of you in unexpected ways. Perhaps they hear a song that brings back a memory, or they visit a place where the two of you spent time together. It could be something as simple as catching a glimpse of someone who looks like you, or hearing a phrase you used to say. These reminders act like little jolts to the system, bringing your presence back to the forefront of their minds. They may have been going about their day, thinking they were fine, but then, boom, a memory of you surfaces and suddenly, they're missing you all over again. This process is often out of their control. It's not something they can switch off or ignore. Missing someone is not always a conscious decision. It sneaks up on you, hitting you when you least expect it. One moment you're fine, and the next you're flooded with memories and emotions that leave you feeling hollow. This is why people start missing you the most when you're gone for a while. The initial separation may be tough, but it's the accumulation of memories of missed opportunities and of reminders that make the absence feel unbearable over time. Finally, people miss you the most when they realize that you're not coming back. Not in the way they want or need, whether it's a breakup, a falling out, or a physical distance that can't be bridged. The permanence of the situation often heightens the sense of loss. It's one thing to miss someone when you know they're just a phone call away, but it's an entirely different feeling when you know that the connection has been severed for good. That finality makes the missing feel deeper, more painful. It's no longer just about the absence. It's about the knowledge that they can't fix it, that things will never go back to the way they were. And that's when they miss you the most, when they realize that the chapter is closed and there's no going back. In the end, people miss you when they realize that your presence was not just an addition to their life, but a crucial part of it. They miss the way you made them feel, the way you understood them, and the way you fit into their world like no one else could. It's a slow, sometimes painful process of realization, but it's inevitable. People start missing you the most when they understand that, without you, their world just isn't the same.